All right, we have made it to day 104 of Tribulation 5/15/2011. And yes, the world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. America is now waiting breathlessly for Hurricane Irene to make landfall. And once again, it looks like it's almost the worst case scenario. This could be another unprecedented disaster, right along the likes of Katrina. You know, I got friends and family out there on the East Coast in the Boston area. I got cousins in the Providence, Rhode Island area. So I just hope that you're doing whatever you need to do to stay safe. You know, whatever preparations you need to make so that you can survive and make it through the weekend. And this is all boiling down into what this tribulation is, you know, like right now that's what everybody needs to make sure is that they got some extra food and whatever other supplies they need, because, you know, it's just the start of even greater problems. You know, the last couple of days I kind of came across the comet Elenin that's approaching our solar system, and man, there's all sorts of stuff out there on the internet, websites, speculations, a lot of people thinking it's not even a comet, that it's a dwarf star. They also, you know, there seems to be a lot of stuff out there that there's another planet approaching, Nibiru, Planet X. But, you know, it seems as though the science end of it, you know, via NASA, is definitely confirming something's coming through the solar system, starting this next couple of, you know, in September, going on through October, November. And I've seen a lot of data that seems to be correlating all the earthquakes and seismic activity, volcanoes, to planet alignments, and with not only, you know, within our solar system, but with this possible dwarf star. So I think we could be on the cusp of some just really bad stuff, you know, earthquakes, volcanoes, extreme weather. And you know, one thing about it is, you know, in the information, you know, there's the scientific stuff, and then, you know, of course, right along with that, there's just as much spiritual or religious correlation, you know, that the comet or planet or star or whatever it is that's approaching has been tied to the Hopi prophecies and to prophecies from the Bible, both Old Testament and New Testament. So a lot of people are seeing this on a religious level. You know, the second coming of Christ, the rapture, which all may happen. You know, just, you know, from watching all the information, I watched, and I've added a lot of this stuff to the blog, so you can check out the stuff, you know, the stuff that I find really relevant, I post to the blog. But, you know, I definitely could see that happening too. You know, September being a huge possibility, you know, that something on a religious level is going to happen. You know, it seems like all the Bible stuff does correlate to, you know, the Jewish Feast of Trumpets coming up in September, which is, you know, there's kind of like an Old Testament, New Testament correlation where everything that happened in the Old Testament correlates to stuff in the New Testament, but all the 7 feasts in the Jewish community kind of represent, you know, the first coming of Christ. It matches up pretty much exactly, and then the you know, last 3 festivals deal with the tribulation, the rapture, the 1,000 years of peace, and you know, finally heaven on earth. But you know, whether it's that or just you know, earth transformation, or us as humans somehow, you know, transforming so we seem to be on the cusp of something. But it made me think, because like myself on this blog, I'm not trying to be a prophet. And the point I wanted to make here is that there's prophecy, like the Hopi. I'm trying to make sure I pronounce these guys right, but the Hopi prophecy, the Mayan prophecies. There's prophecies in a lot of different cultures, which is stuff, Nostradamus, stuff that was written thousands of years ago about stuff happening thousands of years in the future, which may actually be right now what's happening. But like me, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is just looking at what's actually going on and just putting two and two together and then saying, hey, this is what's going to come out of it, which is kind of pointing to future events, but I don't really consider it, prophecy. It's just, using your brain and coming to some logical conclusions and seeing through the trees and the smoke and the mirrors at what's actually happening. But that being said, there's still a lot of unknowns out there, and I think stuff that's being covered up. I think the history of the earth is one big mystery, and we've been spoon-fed a bunch of just garbage over our lifetimes. So I think that's what we need to do, is break free of the mental shackles that we all have, which put us into a box saying this is how it was, when that's not how it was. But whether it's ghosts or demons or aliens, Bigfoot, believe it or not, several years ago, I had a TV show here in San Jose. I went to this big, thing that they had up in Sunnyvale. Some guys said they had captured Bigfoot, and there was reporters from all around the world, and yet when we got up there, it was all big hoax. So I've had some people send in comments saying, hey, aliens are demons, demons are aliens. I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but the common thread seems to be that there's just a ton of evidence out there, but there's no definitive proof. So we have to kind of have a leap of faith and choose what we want to believe in and what we don't want to believe in. And, it's kind of amazing, because I was just looking at a story on the BBC where scientists are saying that ancient humans cross-mated with Neanderthals and this other, Denizen, or I think that's how they said it, which is like a Neanderthal, just a different variation. But, as far as I'm concerned, Neanderthals are just apes. But what they're saying is, hey, we cross-mated with them, and that's why we have, the immune systems we have. But when you actually read the article, their whole conclusion is based on like one tooth fragment that was found up in Russia, And it's like, man, that's a huge leap of faith, in conclusion to come from just one little tooth. And yet we got other stuff, whether it's demons or angels or aliens, where there's a ton of evidence, and yet we can't make that leap of faith and say they exist or don't exist. But I think that's what we're on the cusp of, is that the truth is going to be revealed, and the whole world will know what's going on. The other thing, just kind of doing the research out there, there's a ton of people that have videos on YouTube saying, I had a vision, I had a dream, here's my prophecy. And, I'm not downing any of those people, and they're all, entitled to, tell us whatever it is they think they dreamt. And for what it's worth, I believe in dreams, because I've actually had dreams. I've had a dream where I know for a fact I dreamed of something, and then I told some friends about the dream because it was so vivid. And it was just a dream that actually, it didn't involve the end of the world. It was just a dream about my life. I had a dream where somebody told me to go someplace, and I then met with a room full of writers who then asked me if I wanted to join their writing team. And you know what? It took about a month, and I told my friends about this dream the very next day. But, you know, time went on, and I pretty much even forgot about the dream. But about a month later, somebody where I was working said, hey, man, you know, you should go over and check out this comedy crew in downtown San Jose. I heard they're looking for writers. And, you know, all I can tell you is it unfolded exactly how it had happened in my dream. But that being said, you know, people can have dreams where, you know, it's not seeing the future, but it's just stuff that's in their head from their daily lives, or it's from something they're, you know, focused on. And religion is there too, because if you're extremely religious and you're going to church and you're reading Revelations all day long, you know, it wouldn't be surprising if you have a dream about Jesus coming and telling you it's the end of the world. And you know what? Maybe that's what's going to happen. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, myself, I kind of look at that kind of stuff from dreams or visions with a grain of salt, because I don't know if it's actually looking at what is going to happen in the future, or whether it's just something that's so ingrained, or, you know, something that's been pumped at a person so much that when they're in their subconscious state, their brain is still, you know, mixing it around into their dreams. But, you know, that being said, I do think we're on, you know, the cusp of something. The other thing is, you know, the prophecy from like the Mayans and the Hopi Indians. You know, the reason why I think their prophecies are so strong is because it's not based on dreams so much, but it's on science or actual real life, which is amazing, because you got to ask yourself, how the hell did they know this stuff? And the only way you can get that answer is that some kind of intelligent beings, you know, whether it's angels or aliens, something came down and gave these people knowledge. But it's knowledge that's based in facts. So when they predict, you know, these cycles of 25,000 years and planetary alignments and returns of stars, you know, it's all based on, you know, gravity and magnetism, where they know for a fact that you get a certain alignment of planets, the gravity, you know, all of a sudden makes Earth go into, you know, extreme weather mode where there's earthquakes and whatnot. So you can actually predict the future because the stars and the planets have been there forever, and they've been pretty reliable as far as their orbits. And, you know, the Bible even says that, you know, God, you know, put the stars there, you know, and they tell the story, you know. So that's why, you know, I'm just thinking September, man, there's going to be some crazy stuff going on, you know, but I'm just going to, you know, sit there and, you know, keep an open mind about everything. You know, I don't know if I explained that enough, you know, but I'm just saying, you know, to me there's kind of a difference in how you come to certain prophecies, you know. But that being said, to me, what's happening in the world right now seems to be fulfilling a lot of the prophecy found in the Bible. So, you know, I'm keeping aware of that. And you know what? I do believe in God. I'll say that. People that don't believe in God, hey, more power to you, man, because we're all going to figure out what it means anyway. Because if there is no God, we're all in the same boat. If there is a God, you know, we'll figure out what that is too. Because, you know, I have a hard time with the us-they thing, you know, that God, that some people are in and some people are out. Now, I do believe in you know, karma, you know, that if you live your whole life as a shithead, you know, I think God is good, so why would he want you around, you know, if there is a next phase of our existence, you know? So, you know, that's why I've been kind of saying we got to figure out what our values are. You know, if you get to the end of your life and you're Warren Buffett and you're like, hey man, I had a great life, I made $1 billion gazillion dollars, you know, I don't know what the hell you've accomplished, man, because in my mind you should have taken all that money and helped more of your fellow humans. And you know what, you can't hoard that kind of wealth and think that you're somehow being positive in society. And that's kind of what's going wrong with the world right now. So, you know, we'll see where it's all leading. But, you know, the Bible thumpers out there, you know, if you want to send some comments, righty right on. But, you know, try and just be nice about it. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the tribulation. My bones are telling me that something's coming, man.